Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden. And today we're going to be planting a few purple fountain grass to tuck into the gardens to start filling out for the fall. And I'm going to show you how I made this DIY trellis utilizing all the branches I already had on my property. Okay, so we got to do a couple of things today. First of all, in the front, we're going to be cleaning up some of the spring containers and go ahead and popping in some purple fountain grass so it can start to really fill out and be ready to go for some beautiful fall color in the front garden. And then I'm going to show you how I made this really simple jig almost to create this trellis. And the jig is something that I can use for years and years to come to make additional trellises over time. It's super simple, super inexpensive. Hope you guys like the project. Okay, so I've got this planter back here, and I had put it together for the spring, and it was beautiful for quite a while, and I put a bunch of delphiniums in here. I'll put up a picture of what it looks like. But one of the things I had put in here was a whole bunch of petunias that I grew from seed. And well, y'all, they're very happy. They did really well. However, they're growing over so far that they're kind of overshadowing some other areas and causing a little bit of problem. So I have to give them a nice big chop back, which is going to be rough because obviously this looks beautiful. But there are perennials underneath these. I had no idea these would get so deep. These are all actually from the Dollar Tree. I for real think I'm going to be growing a lot more petunias from the Dollar Tree in the future. But I want to go ahead and give these a nice good trim back so that I can resuscitate this area a little bit. Look at that. And I'm going to cut back some of this ivy as well, just because I like to keep an eye on it, that it doesn't get out of control and start spreading. I'm just pulling it up to make sure that I'm not seeing it spread any particular place. Okay, and then I've got some white verbena over here. I'm just going to trim that up too. It's this time of the year where we have what's called the Texas chop. We cut back a lot of perennials in preparation for the fall so that it can rebloom. Alright, Dianthus looks good. Okay, so now this doesn't look great, right? But I am going to want it to fill back in for this for the rest of the summer, but also for fall. But I don't want to go invest a bunch of flowers in here, you know, that are going to really struggle with the sun. So we're going to go ahead and install a purple fountain grass that will get nice, big, and full, and it should be beautiful for the fall. All right, so here's my purple fountain grass. I'm going to aim towards this back edge. You can already see it's really kind of filling out. I picked this up from Homegrown in Farmersville. And I do have drips set up to these containers. Roots are looking good. All right, and I am going to add some biotone. We'll go ahead and get this tucked in there, just like that. And I do think that goes a long way to fill out the container. for the rest of the summer until I'm ready to add some more plants for fall. Because you know I am growing a lot of my container plants for fall. I'm growing them from seed and they're doing really good. And I have a whole nother round of petunias ready to go. It's looking really good. So there, that looks good. All right, let's look at another summer container. Okay, I've got another container back here that has a Henry Dulberg salvia that desperately needs to be cut back. And in the past, when I've cut this back, it has come back no problem. So I'm gonna cut it about 4 to 6 inches above the soil line. All right, we've got some verbena that is done. Pull that out. Got some alyssa I'm still trying to grow here. I'm just going to cut that back severely. And then we're going to give a pretty harsh cut back to this Dusty Miller and let it spend some time revamping. Now I am not going to put additional plants in this particular one. Just because this is a perennial that's in here. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add in some fertilizer in there to help it out a little bit. Okay, I gotta kind of climb back here a little bit. I have a pot all the way back here. Actually, hold up. All right, and I got a lot of limelight hydrangeas trying to come into this area, so I'm gonna cut these back a little bit just to kind of clear that space, just like that. And this pot does have drip set up to it. So I'm gonna pull out the drip for a minute. Go ahead and start loosening all that up. I had petunias in here for quite a while. Use my nursery can to remove some of the soil. Add some biotone. And then let's tuck our grass back here. All right, and then I'm going to put my drip back. Just like that. And that should fill in really nicely for the fall. Okay, then I have this dwarf Alberta spruce right here that is doing quite poorly. I'm going to go ahead and pull up its drip irrigation. It's just really struggled and has not done well right here. Now, I want to save the zinnias right here, so I'm just kind of gently pulling them out, and then we will replant those in. All right, and then let's pull this guy out. Oh. All right. Oh. Got the pine all over me. I'm going to be itching. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, get that tucked a little back towards the back. All right. And then we're going to come back in with the zinnias to fill back in the base. That. Okay. I'm going to give that one a little bit of water. Okay, so let's shift over to my next project. I have 2 pieces of 2-foot by 2-foot plywood. They came pre-cut at Home Depot, and I also have 2 pieces of 2x4s that are approximately 2 feet long as well. So this is how I'm making my jig to help create this trellis and future ones. So I used the bucket to make a circle, and then I went through and I just kind of guesstimated and made 6 marks as evenly spaced as I could get them around the board. After that, I made sure to go ahead and just prop up my plywood so that I would be able to easily drill through. I ended up using some clamps to hold 2 pieces of wood together so that I could drill right through and have the same holes all the way directly through in the same place. I used a 1-inch drill bit to drill all the way through both pieces of plywood in all 6 points around that circle that I drew. Next, I put the 2x4s on their sides directly on the ends of this 2-foot by 2-foot piece of plywood, and then I used screws to secure that in place. Really simple, really easy. I just need to make sure that I didn't put the same screws in this, or put the screws in the same place on both sides, because in a moment we're going to flip this whole thing upside down and put the additional piece on the other side. So you can see me doing that right there. Just making sure that I have my holes lined up so that they're directly above one another, and then I screwed this one into place as well. And what this does is it creates a jig. It creates a place for me to insert the branches into those holes, and for that to the holes to hold it in place as I weave together the trellis. And you can add additional holes to this over time, spaced differently, smaller, larger, whatever kind of works best for you. So there's some branches that I had cut from my smoke bush, and then I went and harvested a bunch of fresh branches from the willow tree, because these branches will be very pliable, whereas those smoke bush ones I cut a while ago, so they're just hard and rigid and dried out at this point in time. But if you don't have a willow tree where you have flexible branches, you can just use twine to do the entire thing. After I cut the branches from the willow tree, I stripped off as much of the leaves as I could. I did leave some just because I thought it looked pretty, and they'll dry and fall off over time anyway. But I just took the time and stripped down each of these branches. Okay, so next I just used some pots to lift this up so that I could pass the sticks all the way through both pieces of wood to kind of hold it up. You could use taller pots at different points if you wanted to have this trellis have like deeper stakes that would go into the ground. I just started with this, and so I just used 6 fairly straight sticks. I don't think they have to be perfectly straight. I think it actually looks pretty cool when they're not. And for this last hole, I thought that some of these were just too thin, so I decided to put 2 together, which ended up working out great. So as a reference, you can definitely do that as well. Next, I took the willow branches and I just started weaving. I just started weaving them in and out of the sticks and kind of just adjusting as I went, and I got more confident as I kept going through, and I found the process really easy and very relaxing. I felt the whole process is really relaxing. I actually had a giant fan blowing on me throughout this entire project, which worked great. And then after I got several willow branches secured in place, I did use pieces of twine to kind of secure those more tightly to the taller branches, and that worked out really, really well too. after I got a good base going, I decided to go ahead and secure the limbs at the top. And I wanted to make this much taller, but 2 of my sticks were just way shorter. So I had to go much shorter with it. But that's fine. I can make additional of these. This was so easy to do. And then I just used twine at the top to kind of secure all of them together. Okay, you can see that I made a second ring about 6 to 8 inches higher, and then now I'm starting on the third ring about 6 to 8 inches higher as well. I just did this for better support within the trellis. It'll support the plants that grow within it better, but also keep the whole structure together as well. I do think that you could do just the base and stick with that and probably be fine. I just like the intricacy of having 3 different sections. I thought it looked really, really nice. But yeah, it's rustic, it's uneven, but I love it. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. I did clip off the top most sticks because they went really high. Some of them were 6 foot tall. And then I just pulled it out of the jig. Easy peasy. Okay, so I want to tuck it in right here. I've got my Alstroemeria plant that I absolutely covet. And I don't want anything to mess with it. So I'm going to just put this around the Alstroemeria plant just to kind of protect it. And basically we're just kind of working a little bit of time and not pushing too hard because obviously this is DIY, handmade. But that looks amazing, y'all. This was such an easy process. I cannot wait to make more of these. And I definitely think I struggled less because I have that jig going. And I think that just works really well. And now this Alstroemeria plant can grow up throughout the entire design. Now, will this last forever? No. Will it last for a while? Yes. Was it free after the cost of the jig? Yeah. So that's pretty fabulous as well. I'm kind of obsessed with it. Alright, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. That was fun creating this DIY trellis, obelisk, whatever you want to call them. Really, really love how it turned out. Love the look out of it. I would love to have tons of these. And I think with that jig that I can make bigger ones, smaller ones, all different types of varieties. I can add additional holes to make the original bottom portion of the form larger or smaller. And I can do it all in the same template. Like I don't have to make a whole new jig. I can just add additional holes, which I think will be really fun. And it was just such an easy, really joyful process. I just really loved it. Having the twine helped out a lot. The fresh willow branches to be able to twine throughout everything worked great as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me add the purple fountain grass. It seems like a weird time to add it, but now's the time so it can get really big and beautiful before the fall gets here, so it's already ready to go. All right, y'all, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow my channel so much. Let me know your thoughts about my DIY branch trellis, and be sure to check me out on my social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.